Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today's wisdom will be coming from out of the book of Psalm 51, verses 1 through 12. There's Psalm 51, verses 1 through 12. And our theme today is getting rid of your guilt, getting rid of your guilt. Of course, in our Bible class table talk, we've been dealing with the journey unto overcoming. And of course, this lesson today is getting rid of your guilt. In basketball, one of the most skilled positions is a rebounder. A rebound occur after one miss a shot. Of course, a person missed a shot because his perspective was off. He may have shot the ball too hard or too soft. He may have shot the ball too long or too short. Maybe he was distracted and caused him to miss a shot. Well, a good coach would tell that individual not to quit, not to throw in the towel, but get in there and rebound. Of course, in the Bible, many have missed shot and many rebound after their missed shot. And if there was ever a great example in the Bible, certainly King David was a great example. He is the man. Of course, David was anointed and appointed as Israel's second king. He was a man after God's own heart. He was their great military leader. He was the one who wrote the 23rd Psalm. David had missed a shot when he committed adultery with Bathsheba and later on had her husband Uriah murdered. After a year passed, David was dealing with grief. David was dealing with guilt. And so as God, as a good coach, he had sent one of his assistant coach, Nathan the prophet, who skillfully began to talk to David about a parable. And David was convicted in his own sin. And here David repented and he writes this particular psalm. It is in this psalm David shared with us 6 points that we're going to discuss tonight. Of course, the first one is we must accept God's love in verse number 1. Verse 2 and 3, we must assume responsibility. We can't blame nobody else for our failure and for our fault. We must assume responsibility. In verse number 4, David admit that his sin was against God. Yes, he sinned against Bathsheba. Yes, he sinned against her husband. But David ultimately sinned against God. When we sin, we literally break the heart of God. Of course, in verse number 7, David asked God for cleansing. David said, Lord, purge me with your hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Verse number 8, David appealed for God renewal. He said, restore the joy of my salvation. And verse number 12, David talked about how to avoid future sin. Please join us tonight on Facebook Live and on our Zoom video conference, teleconference at 7:15 as we deal with this subject, getting rid of your guilt. We can rebound. We can get up and rebound again. As always, may God bless you real good. May He smile upon you, be gracious unto you, and give you peace. That's my prayer for you and your family today, getting rid of your guilt.